Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news here for you. And the headline of the news reads, IPOB tells Southeast, rise up and defend your lives and land. But before we go on with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube.
All right, the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has called on residents of Southeast to be prepared to defend themselves and land against further slaughter. It decried the alleged involvement of bandits in what it described as endless cycle of slaughter and mayhem, especially in Biafra land, particularly with recent killings in Delta State. Speaking yesterday, IPOB Media and Publicity Secretary Ima Powerful noted that Governor Ifeanyi Okowa's brave condemnation of Nigeria's army involvement in the orgy of violence unleashed by 5 different terror groups against innocent populations was an indication that killings were premeditated slaughter of the defenseless. According to him, IPOB message of freedom is the only way out of the present impasse in the fight against state-sponsored Fulani terrorism in Nigeria. He recalled that in 2014, before the murderous tendencies of Miyetti Allah was unleashed on helpless Nigerians, way before Fulani herdsmen, bandits, foreign fighters, ISWAP, Ansaru, Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb descended on innocent citizens. Our great leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said it live on air during his prophetic message of 6th February 2014 on Radio Biafra that Fulani herdsmen will be armed and encouraged to slaughter us with impunity and their masters will protect them. He said the US government and her lawmakers will now pay more attention to all IPOB submissions following this confirmation by Governor Okowa. He vowed that IPOB will resist every attempt by the herdsmen to unleash terror on Biafra land. Therefore, we are calling our people to be prepared because we are going to take on Fulani terrorists in our land. Also, the coalition of Southeast youth leaders COSEL described the alleged recent release of 1,400 Boko Haram insurgents by the military, describing it as total aberration, and I take that again, describing it as total aberration and transversity of law. Speaking in a joint statement, the organization's President General Goodluck Ibim and Secretary General Comrade Kanis Igwe condemned the action by the military authorities. The release of these insurgents who have killed so many civilians, military officers and soldiers, Air Force personnel, other security agencies is totally unacceptable. This goes a long way to show that the military authorities have no value for lives of those soldiers, police officers and civilians who were killed by these Boko Haram insurgents. How can the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tokro Yusuf Burutai, recruit people who are enemies to the state back to the midst of the same people they are killing? It means that the military authorities are not sincere in its fight to end the havoc caused by these insurgents. It is disheartening to see that the military showed all his force against armless Biafran agitators, but when they saw Boko Haram terrorists with dangerous arms and ammunition, they arrested them, pampered them, and released them to go and cause more havoc. He said they called on federal government to rearrest all the released terrorists.
All right, thank you very much. And I want to say here specifically that the person of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we don't really know who he is, if he's a prophet and at the same time a leader, because most of the things that he said in the past, virtually all of them are coming to pass. That's why if you notice, whenever he comes on board to do that in Radio Biafra to talk, I realize that the number of people are increasing. That's the number of listeners that tune in. They are actually increasing. I'm talking about online. You realize they are increasing because people have come to realize that every statement that he makes, even the one that he made many years ago, virtually all of them are coming to pass. So at some point, some people are beginning to think, is he a prophet, or is it that he's just out to lead, like Moses lead the children of Israel out of the land of bondage? A lot is happening, because what he said in 2014, that the Fulani headsmen will be empowered. Imagine, it has come to pass. And right now, based on what has happened, just the right instruction that had been given is that the people should get themselves prepared. That's what the Yorubas are actually doing. They are getting themselves prepared, because it seems that what we are seeing currently is beyond human imagination. I watched a video. Somebody was interviewing this guy, the governor of Kaduna State, I think 2018 or so. And he said some very striking things that I was like, does it mean these guys already know what is happening in the country and they're just pretending as if they are not aware of it? He said something that the issue of terrorism, insurgency cannot end. That even he has information about insurgency that the president have like 50 times more than it. Somebody just sent that clip to me, and when I look at it, I was like, what's going on in this country? And right now, you can see these guys are like, they know that means very soon something is going to happen in the country, and it will really be against those who are defendless. And that is why you see the Yorubas immediately had to defend themselves. At least let us have a group of people that we have given the responsibility of protecting our territories, protecting our lands, protecting even our own our own properties too. And that's why they say Tabamotekun. But at the same time, I would like to say this, that I've been seeing a lot of videos online. The one I saw fairly recently was the youth of Okija in Anambra State. The way those guys behave, it clearly shows that they are ready to defend their lives and their property. They are ready to defend their ancestral land, because the rate at which they halted Fulani headsmen, they came in a group. And the next thing, the only thing that saved those guys as the Fulani headsmen was the fact that the police were there. Because these guys from Okija, these youths from Okija, they halted them and marched them. They said, move, you cannot enter our land, move, we do not want you here. And there's another video too I saw, that as if they were entering the environment with their cows. See how youths, numbering almost close to 50, they step out. They were telling them, take this direction, move, get out of our land. So with all of the information that is going out, I think virtually all the regions are preparing themselves so that peradventure, if there is a strike from any point, they can really protect themselves. And here another issue which had been mentioned is the case of releasing 1,400 alleged repented Boko Haram. Abba. If these guys have never released one person that they have captured free of charge, if they must release, you must pay a bounty that is reasonable. And then we capture 1,400. Instead of us reducing the number of Boko Haram army attacking us, we instead release them. The information I've heard via media and other things is that they have been absorbed by the army. To do what? I also saw a video. Someone was showing a picture of some soldiers who accompany Fulani headsmen to carry out an attack in one of the south states also. And when I looked at it, I was like, what's going on? Are we actually safe? And that's why it's needful. All the geopolitical zones need to equip themselves. Look at the issues that we are having on ground, issues here and there. And then you just see people are traveling out of the country and, getting so happy. Just, the country is boiling. But hey, people are just stepping out of the country. And you're like, man, does it mean they don't even carry the people at the back of their mind? All of this, I think, right now, everyone, for those who are defenders, who can't do anything, pray. We should pray that God should intervene, because it's only God that will intervene. And those who can defend, you too have the mind to defend the territories and their properties and their ancestral land, should do that so that at least at the end of the day, posterity can bear you witness that during the time that you were alive, you did something to at least stop external aggressors from entering your land. Because it's really amazing. I read something about these guys. They were writing something about the chief of army staff and Abdas Brutai, and they kind of deducted from his statement. They said what they deduced from his statement, there was a statement he made, and we say what they deduced was that he has decided to surrender to the Boko Haram. I think what he was talking about was that insurgency is on the increase and it has infiltrated into virtually all the states. That even in Lagos State, we have Boko Haram in Lagos State. So the response of the Ifenifere guy was that, hey, that from this statement you have made clear issues that you don't have the way without to combat these guys again. And that is why there are a lot of raging in the country that the service chiefs should be relieved of their duty. New persons who are capable and who are willing to fight this battle. But I know even if you relieve these guys of their responsibility, this thing is beyond what we are seeing. There is a secret behind this thing which nobody specifically can tell. And that is why you have seen some persons with the level of knowledge that they have about this whole thing, they have decided to prepare their own land so that they get ready for it. All the same, we are hopeful that Nigeria will keep, that we are hopeful that at the end of the day, that which belongs to us will not be taken away from us.
My challenge now is I don't know if the governors of the Southeast will be willing to work hand in hand with the youth to defend their land and property. Don't forget that when it comes to the issue of IPOB, some certain governors in Southeast they're not on the same page. They believe that they are Nigerians, and anything that has to do with IPOB, they can't distance themselves from it. Not all the governors, the one or two, full. And with this statement made, I don't think this is actually a thing of IPOB. I think it's a thing of self-defense. I think you don't need to look at it as a call by Biafra. I think it's a general call to life, naturally. As in, if your land is threatened, you don't need to say to tell you to defend your land, do you? Well, I also don't think that the governor should begin to think of playing politics with this now, because how long will it take? You can imagine a situation where you can imagine what Koa, the governor of Delta State, said that based on what he reported, that is even some of the security personnel that escorted the insurgent. That's a strong statement, So which means if you are looking out to the fact that you want security personnel in your various states or various states of the southeastern region to keep, when you keep reporting and they keep moving as admitted, then you may just be moving in circles. But the best way is actually self-defense. And when things fall apart, definitely the center will not hold. When a situation where security begin to become the order of the day, fairly recently, Rotimi Amechi denying the fact that he was attacked by bandits on his way from Abuja Kaduna train, even though Aisha Yusufu said it categorically that her in-law, her sister and brother were there, and they saw him running like a baby mouse, a newborn baby mouse. But whatever the case is, we are trying to say that it's gradually getting home. They have no respect for any region. They have no respect for who you are. All they're thinking of is, let's see how we can do this and, conquer the land totally. So this is a general call. I feel that this is not the time to begin to call it an IPOB call. I feel it's a time that everyone, all hands should be on deck to see how we can keep all regions, not just Biafra region alone, but Nigeria, every region in Nigeria, Fenifere looking, Odua looking out for the southwest, or Amotekun also looking out for the southwest. While since we're still working on Ogbunigwe, and up to Ogbunigwe is still not up and running. So while Ogbunigwe is still going through politicizing and trying to say IGP will give approval and all that, let the youth be standing let them be up and run. Let them be very much alert, because I don't understand what is going on in the issue of security in Nigeria, but all hands has to be on deck.
All right, thank you very much. For me, I consider this to be a privileged advice, and everyone needs to heed it. Security is not a thing of one person, it's a thing of everybody, because you've got to protect yourself.